Hello, how are things? How are you getting on? How are ya? Okay, I didn't expect the park to be so busy. There's like 3 groups of people just walked past me there already. And fair enough, I have something to film, but I don't look like an absolute weirdo around the village filming myself. But anyway, here we are again. Just said I'd do another, we'll call it an episode or rendition of Let's Talk, where instead of sitting down at my desk and doing a whole lot of editing, putting in pictures and looking all fancy and smart, just go for a walk in the park for, let's say 8-10 minutes. No, like seriously, like with people and their families, fuck off. I try to make a video. Anyway, yeah, just got a quick talk, and today we are going to talk all about Tyrique George and the general concept of Chelsea selling their youth academy graduates, people that came out of Cobham, and why I hate it, why I see they do it, why it's a bad idea. But just in general on this video, we're going to focus in on Tyrique George. So all today being Sunday the 3rd of August, I just saw people on Twitter talking about why it's a good idea to sell Tyrique George, how he wants to go, how he's wanted to go for a long time, how he's pushing the lead to get first team minutes. For what I saw of the Club World Cup, he played a few games and he scored a goal. So this idea of him not playing and not getting his chances, I don't believe that. Fair enough when Simmons or Garnacho or whoever else comes in and Gittins, his minutes might be limited, but at the same time, it's his first full season with his senior team the year just gone. I don't think he's demanding to be like our starting player next season. I think, again, in fairness, and I said this to a guy on Twitter, if he plays like 20-25 league games this year, I think he'd be happy enough with that. A lot of it being substitute games, but at the same time, 8 games is what he played in the league last year. He's not going to expect to be playing 30 games, starting 20-22 with him. He's going to be like looking, to get embedded into the first team, but not like pushing for it. And I've seen people sharing photos of him at like the Club World Cup, on the bus on the way home and stuff, that like, or the plane on the way home, I suppose, that he didn't look that happy. He's evil Saka. He's never looked that happy. It'd be weird now if just a random scary monster jumped out the back behind me. But he's never ever looked that happy. That's why he's called evil Saka. He looks evil. He looks like his forehead is trying to take over his face. So he's not that kind of guy that's going to be pure jumping around and happy and laughing like, say, maybe Pedro Neto or someone, or Enzo Fernandez. But for people to be saying that he's wanted to move for a while, I just don't believe it. I think if you see his goal against Fulham last year, where he equalised it for us, and then Pedro Neto scored for us later on in the game, he was delighted. I don't even know my central in this. Hang on. So I just, people saying again that he wants to move, I don't believe that's true. I think if he's a squad player, fair enough. If reports have come out the last few days saying that he wants to force a move because he's not sure of minutes, I could see why, because we've signed Gittins in the left wing role. We're going to sign Simmons probably. We're going to sign Garnacho. So, and people keep saying to me, oh, well, Simmons is going to play in the middle. And I'm like, well, what about Cole Palmer? Oh, Cole Palmer's going to play in the right. What about Pedro Neto? Pedro Neto played on the left a lot last year. So whatever way you want to spin it, whether it's Simmons, or else Simmons pushes everyone more to the right side of the field, and then Neto can play to the left, there's going to be competition there. There's going to be 2, maybe 3 ahead of Tyrique George. So I can see why he's asking about first team minutes. He can back himself all he wants, but he's not been invested in with 55 million like Gittins, like 40-50 million like Simmons. It's funny how all his rivals' names rhyme. And Garnacho will be whatever, 30 million. And again, Tyrique George is pure profit. He is seen as easy money on the books, handiest thing for Blueco, for Clear Lake, for Talboli, for Egghead Bally, whoever else is there. But this is the problem. See, Reece James broke into the squad initially 5 years ago because of the transfer ban. Would Reece James be playing for Chelsea right now if it wasn't for that transfer ban? Absolutely not. Who else have you seen break through at Chelsea before that? Callum Hudson-Odoi was kind of here and there coming to the team under Sarri. Bar that, what other graduates? John Terry, who was there before the Roman came in. Roman, you want to go bowling? But they don't break into the team. So we're going back to the kind of the old ways of Chelsea again. Yes, there's exceptions made like Reece James and Caldwell. I think they're kind of more just kept because of like the face of Chelsea and that kind of thing. I'm surprised they haven't, I suppose, put Caldwell more in the shop window, to be honest. But very rarely do the players get to stay and push. And I think we've had so much talent over the year that could have stayed and played. Like Tomori, Lewis Hall, Livermento. We actually bought Tyler Dibling, the same player that went back to Southampton and everyone's ranting and raving about now. Like, who else is there? Can't think of who else off the top of my head now. But you get the Callum Hudson-Odoi. There's a lot of players that come through it. We just sell, push out the door, and that's it. It's mainly in defence, in fairness. Same with Chalobah. Chalobah is either our best or second best defender. So George, again, let him push. Let him give him the minutes and time that Sancho would have got this year if he stayed, for example. He would have played 15, 20 games. Let him play that. Let him grow into the team. This idea of, he wants to leave. I can see where he's coming from. It's for the sake of his own career. If he could leave now after the good season last year, why would you not, instead of floundering and then getting loaned out to like Barnsley in like January or whatever next year? Like, I see his point. But I just don't get all this buying these players and having the backup to be nearly as good as a starting player. You tell me who was Salah's backup last year. You tell me who was Van Dijk's backup last year. Robertson's backup. Trent Alexander-Arnold's backup. Gravenberch's backup. And they won the league. Even you say, well, it wasn't a very competitive league. They got 84 points. When was the last time Chelsea got 84 points? So all this talk, we need so much backup in competition for roles. You don't. You need a defined starting player and then a clear backup. There does need to be constant pressure of competition and everything else. Sometimes all you need is... Someone's shouting hola at me. We're not in Spain. You don't need this constant competition. Sometimes you just need a certainty that you know you're going to play. You have the confidence of the manager. Well, you won't stop shouting hola at me. So that's what I think. I think all this given out about Tyrique George, the man could easily, if Gittins doesn't play well or whoever else, I'd have George as a good backup, in fairness. So that's my thoughts anyway. That's what I just wanted to quickly share. All this, get rid of him, push him out. He needs to be loaned. This time last year, most of us knew nothing about him. Now we've seen how much he's come on and played. Club World Cup, Conference League, Premier League. So imagine what he'll be like now in another year's time. And I also tweeted out today saying, in 2 or 3 years' time, he'll be the exact kind of player that we will be spending 50, 60 million on. We have him here now with us. Appreciate what we have. Let us grow and develop these players. Imagine if we'd Hato or Lavia, all these young players that we buy for 50, 60 million. Imagine if we had them 2 years ago. We wouldn't look at them. But they develop, they play, they push into the first team, and they prove their worth and they earn their place in the squad. So Tyrique George, Evil Saka, I'd back him. I'd keep him. If it meant Garnacho not coming, fine. If it meant Xavi Simons not coming, fine. But that's my thoughts. I would say a lad just ran past me, but wouldn't really call that running. That's everything I really need to say on Tyrique George. Keep him, give him a chance. We can't always just be expecting these players like that to just be good. That's it. Like, part of, I suppose, why we sold Madueke, we just thought he hadn't pushed on as long as he much has, or as much as he should have. But at the same time, like, everyone has off seasons, that kind of stuff. You can't just look at them like assets and on a chart and stats and everything else. Like, you know, how many off seasons has Foden, Salah, all these different players, Drogba, Hazard, they all had off seasons. You can't just be like, oh no, according to our graphs and charts, they haven't pushed on. It's about giving your players a chance, a bit of hope, a bit of trust. A bit of hope and trust in Tyrique George. I think definitely he'd be in the England picture 2 years' time. But will he be in the Chelsea picture? Don't know. Too busy about the here and now. So that's it really. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Looking to chat to you more on Twitter about this and kind of giving out and arguing about the point. And that's about it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take her handy. Good luck to you.